All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining today's webinar, Program Coordinators. If not you, then who, with Jennifer Cassidy. I am excited to present this opportunity to bring the GME community together, and I thank you all for being here. I look forward to introducing you to Jennifer here in just a few moments. Please note that today's presentation will be recorded and I will send the recording out to everyone who registered today. I'll also share it in my next nationwide program coordinator e-blast next week, so you'll definitely receive the recording. If I have not had the chance to meet you at ACGME or present a didactic day course to your program, I'd like to go ahead and introduce myself while everyone is logging on today. My name is Ashley Pichard. I'm the Program Relations Manager here at Practice Match. Before joining Practice Match, I was an in-house physician recruiter. And in that role, I developed a true passion for helping physicians in their journey from training to employment. And with Practice Match, I get to take that passion to the next level by offering career guidance and mentorship to physicians, from medical students preparing to apply to residency all the way through helping residents and fellows find their dream job. Practicing physicians come back to us as well when they are ready to re-enter the job market. We also offer free resources to programs. So those resources include, of course, these program coordinator professional development webinars. We have didactic day courses for your programs on CV preparation, interview preparation, contract negotiation, red flags to watch for in recruiters, and more. We have a free CV builder and do free CV review. We have scholarships, up to 12 different scholarships at any time of the year. They change often, so keep an eye on those. We have career fairs, both live and virtual. If you see us in your city, please come and bring your program. These events are fun. There's free food and open bar. It's a great opportunity to network for everyone, and you are invited to attend as well. We have educational webinars on contract negotiation, student loans, financial planning, immigration that physicians can just log into on their own that don't have to be part of a didactic day. So I share those in my emails if you want to pass those along. And of course, we have our nationwide job board with over 20,000 physician jobs nationwide. So if your program's interested in any of these things, please reach out to me. Remember, everything is free, including the didactic day courses. Also, if you are utilizing these resources and sending them to your physicians, I invite you to provide a testimonial about which practice match resource you recommend to your program and why you find value in it. Also, if you submit a testimonial, you'll be entered to win a $50 gift card. I'm going to be giving away 5 $50 gift cards to program coordinators who provide this feedback on Friday of this week. So if you submit your testimonial, please get that in ASAP so I can enter you. I'll be putting the link where you can do that in the chat in just a few moments, so please keep an eye out for that. Another FYI, in addition to our program coordinator webinars, I also do free resume review for program coordinators. So if you are looking to change jobs or take the next step and you'd like an extra set of eyes, please send your resume my way. I love helping you all with your professional development. I do want to take just a moment to apologize for the schedule change. When we picked today, I did not realize the NRMP webinar was scheduled for the same time. I know that created a conflict for a lot of people, and I'll do a better job of checking on those things in the future. But everyone who is attending this webinar today will receive a certificate of completion. And if you watch the recording and you would like a certificate, please email me at apichard@practicematch.com to request one. I understand the conflict. I'm happy to send that to you, even if you just watched the recording. All right, well, please note that microphones will be muted throughout the presentation. If you have any questions, please feel free to put them in at any time. I'll be helping Jennifer monitor that chat. We do have 2 chat boxes, so please use the chat box for feedback and the Q&A box for questions that you would like answered. There's a lot of engagement in these things, so if you separate those out, it'll be a little bit easier for us to monitor and make sure that we get your questions answered. Let's go ahead and dive in to our presentation and meet our speaker. Jennifer Cassidy is a highly accomplished professional with extensive experience in graduate medical education. She currently serves as the emergency medicine coordinator at David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA. She was named the 2022 Coordinator of the Year and has served in many roles for EMARC, including chair of the EMARC Membership and Mentorship Committee. Thank you so much for joining us today, Jennifer.
Thank you for having me. Welcome, everybody. We have 154 people. I'm going to try not to be nervous, but I am human. Thank you all for being here. If not you, then who is very much a theme that I think comes with every project, every demand, every aspect of our job, especially when we feel overwhelmed. And also when we do our job really well, right? We're always probably the first person our team thinks of because we are exceptional. We take on, we troubleshoot, we streamline things so we have space to either breathe or help out others on our team. So I'm looking forward to kind of growing and expanding this because there's many avenues and ways that we can look at this in setting healthy boundaries. And I think it's just really important for us because this job is more of a marathon than a sprint. And so it just makes me think of the Olympics, right, that we just had, and how, you know, sprinters, they may have, you know, a couple seconds, but they've been training for 4 years, right? And so it's exceptional. And so I'm kind of think of our roles like that sometimes, is that we are training and making sure that we are fine-tuning and always evolving and always growing and doing all these things so that we can have the best workflows and have the most efficient time for ourselves. And so that's where we're going to go today. So let's see. Sorry about that. Here we go. There we go. Sorry about that. Okay. So the power of grit. I had a little problem with skipping the slides. So first I want to say thank you all for rescheduling for today. I'll share a little bit of my story. The reason we had to meet about a week later was due to family. My mother recently passed away, and so I feel that, you know, when we can come and be authentic and vulnerable, I feel like our relationships can be much tighter, and we have more grace and we have more understanding. And I think that we're better at our jobs when we come with those kind of qualities. And so I just want to thank you all for being super flexible and showing up today. You know, I think any loss is hard throughout the year. It's especially hard for us during the summer when we're graduating, we're onboarding, we're setting our whole academic year up for the new year. So I appreciate your grace and I appreciate your flexibility in rescheduling for today. So with that, here we are, and we're gonna get through it with our grit. And so today's agenda, we have any Taylor Swift fans out there, any Swifties, you know, hi, it's me, I'm the solution, it's me. I feel like we very much are those people in our roles where we spearhead and always try to find the answers that help our team and are really resourceful. We're going to discuss how to show up a lot for ourselves. I think we do a pretty good job with our team, and I think for each other, how in this graduate medical education, how can we show up for each other maybe a little more, especially with everything being virtual, really figuring out how we can connect and bond, especially because all of our programs are across the states, some international. And so it just makes it really challenging to do this life together, which is why we're here, right? We're going to discuss a little bit about maintaining streaming and innovation for each of our projects. I think sometimes we kind of so quickly move on to the next project that we don't pause and celebrate the wins. And so, figuring out how we can make sure we're doing that. And then I'm very, very passionate about, just not being okay. But we continue to grind and we continue to take space and we continue to find things like beach walks or find things like, calling a friend or, taking a pause, maybe taking a day off, having a rest day, which I know is hard with all of our demands. But when we do those things, it really helps us reset and show up as our best version of ourselves. And then we'll have some final tips and takeaways. So embracing the seasons. With the academic year, I think there are so many busy seasons and then there's less busy seasons, right? And so, and it also can be like, these are busy days, these are busy months, right? Or vice versa. And so I think when I see this picture of the surfer, I feel like it's really helpful for us to kind of ride the waves. We know it's going to be crazy busy in March, right? We're matching, we're finishing up, we finished recruitment hopefully in January, February. We know it's crazy busy in June because we're graduating and we're onboarding and we're setting up the whole academic year. And we do have these lighter months, hopefully in like end of August, September. I feel like as more things come on our plate, as things change with ACGME and our roles in our departments, things do shift in and out of certain months, but there are certainly months where it's a little calmer. And those, I think, are the times that we can really make sure that we are doing all the things that we can reset or we can reflect or we can maybe plan some more family time or dinners with friends and things that just really help us recenter and show up as our best versions of ourselves and continue on this kind of marathon of GME. So one of my favorite verses from Taylor Swift is in her song Mastermind. So if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Strategy sets the scene for the take. So in a world where we are constantly trained to be there for everyone else, and I feel especially for me personally, I feel in this role, there's so many trainings and sessions for us to show up well for our physicians, for our residents. And I don't know that there's enough content, resources, groups that reflect the same support for GME admin. And that's something I'm really passionate about. And, maybe if you're on here and we can work on things that we can do better for our whole group, I would love to discuss that. But here, we are our best selves when we have a full cup and we are then overflowing into others. It is very challenging to pour from an empty cup. And so those visuals are what I think of when I need to reset, when I need to get a beach walk in, when I need to, limit my screen time the night before so that I go to bed early and I wake up rested, right? So I kind of pinpointed a couple things that will help us that we can make sure our cups are really full. So for ourselves, sleep, right? I think we burn the candle at both ends, especially during certain seasons, and and that is okay because there are some seasons like that. But we also have to be careful and make sure that when it's a less busy season, that we are refilling that cup and getting our rest. So one way is to protect your evenings. So go to bed slightly a little early, decrease screen time. I know that I am an Instagram scroller, and I wish and my goal is to hopefully decrease that. Just because I'll be like, oh my gosh, 15-30 minutes has passed. What the heck? So another thing is I'll put on some classical music. So any of your favorite artists, you can put classical in front of their name, like classical Beyonce, classical Taylor Swift, classical Beatles, whatever. And that is very nice, calming, soothing music that can help you just reset and be ready to go to bed, right? Also, I think I journal sometimes before I go to bed because my mind is very busy and it's hard for me to shut off. And so sometimes I'll just take time to jot down some things and get it out of my head onto paper so that, one, I don't forget about it. And two, by setting it, putting it on paper, it is hopefully, I can now think about it in the morning, the next day, and not have a restless night because my wheels are still turning, whether it's a to-do list, whether it's what you got to work on tomorrow, whatever, if there's some family stuff going on, it's just nice to kind of put that all on paper and, get the best sleep that you can, right? Um, Another thing, I think food. So I know when I go grocery shopping and I have all the foods in the house and I can make lunches and that it really sets me up to succeed so that I'm not making poor choices with food or, missing lunch or, um, going to the fast food place nearby because that's quick and I just need something, quick to eat. And so I think, you know, planning really helps in this. I think we're all really good planners for our jobs, and I think that can pour into our planning for, having good sleep and planning for having good nutrition, so that we can show up as our best selves in all aspects of our life. Um, for me, I like getting my Trader Joe's salads, and that's a quick and easy grab, and they're super delicious and easy. Um, Moving our body. I know, this is my ninth year leading the UCLA emergency medicine, and gosh, do we sit quite a bit. I do have a standing desk that this academic year I'm trying to use a bit more. But it has certainly for the last couple of years been a regular desk. So I'm trying to be more cautious of that, of standing a bit more since we do sit a lot. Also, think about Zooms that you need to be on, but maybe you don't need to say interact as much. It's more of like a listening. Like you just need to be present for the Zoom meeting. Look at your schedule and maybe try once a week to see if any of those Zooms can be a walk, so you're logged into your Zoom. If you're allowed to have your camera off, great. Then you can go for a nice outside walk. And then one, you're getting your steps in and moving your body. And then two, you still showed up for your meeting. And so I try to look at my schedule for the week and see if there's any Zoom meetings that I need to show up for. I don't necessarily need my camera on, or, maybe they don't mind you being outside. And then I try to do that. Another thing I do is on Sunday night, I will look at my, Monday through Friday schedule, and I will see what days I can get to the gym before I head into work or I start my day. And so by planning Sunday night, I know what days I don't have too early of a meetings, and I can schedule my going into the gym. For me personally, I like to go in the morning because by the end of the day, I'm really exhausted and it becomes a choice, right? In the morning, I know I already booked my class. I brush my teeth, put on my workout clothes, and go. And then I come home, take a shower, start my day. And it feels great. And I think the biggest thing through all these different choices and planning and kind of rethinking how to put ourselves first, along with meeting all of these demands, is that we are not breaking promises to ourselves. And so that's been, a confidence booster, right? When you're like, I planned to go to the gym at 7. I went to the gym class, came home, got ready for my day, and started the day. Had a good day. Um, and I think the other thing is have grace. You know, maybe something came up, especially in our specialty in of emergency medicine. I feel like there, my main goal is to have the least amount of fires going on at once because there are always fires coming from right and left. And so um, that is one of my goals. It's just like, okay, if I streamline and do all these things, then I have space or room should any emergencies come through that need to be taken care of. And so that really helps have more balance uh, and to not lose my mind, but it happens sometimes. um, and I think sometimes just taking 24 hours at a time for me is really helpful during the busy seasons or when I have family stuff going on or when you have XYZ going on, whatever the additional stuff is, if you just break everything up into 24 hours, and you kind of reflect at the end of the day, like, what, I really wish I got to that gym class yesterday, but I didn't, let's try again tomorrow. And so you give yourself grace, you reflect, and you try again, and I think the more that we get to do that, the better we can be more consistent and we'll see the benefits from doing these things consistently and just being really realistic about it. I know during June when we have graduation and intern boot camp for 3 weeks and we have all these events and whatnot, I know that it's not realistic for me to try to go to the gym 4 to 6 days a week, right? I know that I can probably popcorn some in throughout the week and or try to get in some walks at lunch or after work. And so you just have to be kind of flexible, especially during our busy seasons where there isn't too much wiggle room. Um, and so the other thing is, yeah, protecting your peace. So I feel like our mind is such a beautiful masterpiece, and it can swing the pendulum one way really far or the other way, whether it's positive or negative. And so I heard recently that it takes one person to believe in you for you to stay on track, so really think about what positive influences you have in your inner circle, whether it's family, friends, um, your partner, whatever it is, so that you can maintain and still be that bright light for your team and each other. Um, I think positivity is a choice and grit is self-love. And so those two things together really will help. And I think grace, grace is very much weaving through my entire day. I was struggling a little bit walking into the office today with just running through all the different things that I are thinking about and that I need to do and coming back from being on leave and all that stuff. And, kind of getting a little nervous for today, but I felt like it's okay to have all those things and still show up, right? It's still okay to have the, things and whatnot going on in your head, um, and still show up and do our job well, and take breaks when we need to take breaks. Um, so regarding like um, our workloads, um, I just want to say cheers on creating a system that works. And so when I say that, I feel like so often we may not be handed the silver platter of our programs, right? And so we go through every season, whether it's onboarding, recruitment, um, graduation, all these things that come through every year. And I feel like we always are just bumping on to the next, moving on to the next, moving on to the next. And so, I just kind of wanted to pause and um, kind of give kudos to everyone here who has created a system that works and that it just gets to keep on maintaining it. Like, for example, we set up evaluations in MedHub, and we make sure our evals are good. We set up the schedule to MedHub sends them out. We get reports, and that's just a system and a workflow that works really nicely. And it like runs itself throughout the year. And then, by running reports is just a little spot check, but that's something that we're proud of, and that it really helps us let that run, and then we can move on to other things. And so I just want to give a little kudos for all you out there that have systems like that set up and created. And then also for us to think about anything that we're currently working on that we feel like we can maybe tweak or make a little better, and making it streamlined so that these little changes will then help us get to this maintaining phase, right? And so just thinking about basically every time I touch a project, I work with my assistant and we discuss, were there any issues? Were there any things that, were a little frustrating? And so that's the space and time that we will take a look at projects and see if there's anything or any way that we can make it better. And so I encourage you all to kind of have some space to think about streamlining and what that looks like, and how to, time is so special to all of us. And so when we can make one or two adjustments, that saves us maybe an hour, whether it's like email templates in your emails so that, we have, like, for example, residency verifications. We constantly get those, right? If we have a quick little email template that we can drop down in and edit it, add one or two things and then let it go. Um, little things like that will save us time, and that will bring us more joy and happiness that we didn't spend as much time as the last time we got that one in, right? So just little tweaks and things like that. And the other thing is just, you're incredibly passionate, and everyone here has such great insight, and has so much to bring to your team, and I really encourage you to share those ideas and to, lead and help your team level up, and kind of be excited for growing and changing, so that your team is the best one out there. So like I said, every day is a fresh start. And as a person who did deal with a little bit of imposter syndrome when I first came into this role, I very much use this as, my kind of, you're not a product of your past, in the sense of like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to fail. It's okay to know that in this space, it's a huge learning curve, right? And so knowing that you will make mistakes, and it's okay. And that knowing where, was it a knowledge-based thing? Was it just, oh my gosh, I was working too fast? Error? Was it, I didn't read that, let me slow down? There's many variations of that. And so I think self-reflecting really helps in those spaces so that you don't sit in the, I say the ick, but you don't want to sit in the like, oh my gosh, I messed up again. You want to, of course, be like, oh my goodness, right? But don't let that last for too long, right? We're human, we make mistakes, and there's many ways to get from A to B. And so if there's any managers out there who, are in charge of a team or, are responsible for, an assistant or whatnot, I do encourage you to give your team space to try things and to encourage them to do it in whatever way they would like to do it from A to B, because I feel like that helps them have some independence, and it really helps them grow and elevate um, into the next leaders, right? Because I feel like as a manager and even here as this platform that I was given today, it's our opportunity to give each other the time, the grace, the space so that we can be building and growing the next leaders of GME. And so I guess another personal story is like, my freshman year of college, I failed out of college and you would never know that. And I went to a local community college. I went to Cal State after that and graduated a year later than my friends. And it felt so devastating in my 20s, right? And then, a couple years later, I got my master's in higher education administration. And so just on a personal level, that was very traumatic in my young 20s. And but you got through it. I got through it. I learned from my lesson. And it was something that just built grit, and I can use that same kind of, it's okay to make mistakes and it's okay to be honest, and it's you know okay to do better the next time. And so I just want to encourage everyone to make mistakes and to grow and to reflect and to be open about that. um my next piece is like something I'm working on and growing on. So feel free to chime in if you have anything to share, but just knowing your worth and advocating for yourself. I think sometimes in these spaces and roles and whatnot, we don't realize how much of an opportunity we have to advocate for ourselves and to share our experiences with our staff so that the battles maybe you fought a couple years ago, that they're not going to fight them as well, and sharing your shared experiences. And that's been really wonderful here. And we've been able to um, just make sure that everyone's aware of the battles that were already fought and to help everyone succeed and be the best versions of the self and the roles uh, that they've worked hard to be in. And so I think spaces like this is wonderful, for us to continue to grow and share our stories. I encourage you in all spaces and any meetings, to pitch your vision. It doesn't hurt. It's okay if it's not picked. I feel like there's many times where I've, suggested things or let's try this or let's do that. Sometimes it's fixed, sometimes it's not. But I think the more that we get, more comfortable we get with doing that, in our roles, we have such a breadth of knowledge and experience of what has been done in the past that we can bring that history of when our team wants to do XYZ. And we're like, actually, we tried that a couple years ago, and these are the problems that we ran into. We can try it again, but just be aware that these issues might come up again, and maybe we can figure out how to troubleshoot them. So just use your knowledge and pitch your ideas. I think make your impact, figure out in your role and where you want to go is what kind of impact do you want to make? I'm really passionate about creating safe spaces for us to discuss and talk about things. I try to do that in our emergency medicine residency coordinator platform. And that's been really wonderful for the last, I want to say like maybe 6 years. Going to annual conferences and building relationships with everyone. And yeah, just, we all are doing very similar things. And so sometimes just sharing our story, having an outside perspective, having a person check in on you on how that meeting went, was your PD, receptive or open to what you had to say or your concerns. And so yeah, figure out kind of what you want to do and leave in your department. And something new for me, I'm kind of evaluating my career. And so just seeing what where you're currently at, where you want to go, and what does that look like. And then, yeah, leave your mark is similar to like make your impact. But just be proud of all the things that you've done for your department and the future things that you're going to be doing to help. So I like this opportunity meets preparation. So I feel the more that we do this, my first presentation at a national conference was February of 2020 in New York, which was super fun. That was right before all the COVID things went down, but here we are many years later, and I get this opportunity. So these are, wonderful examples that the more that we effectively communicate, we can make way more impact and have way more connections. And I think, as simple as, say you get a lot of emails back from an email that was sent out. I think it's an opportunity for you to be like, evaluate what your original email was, and then you can either add more details since there was, a couple extra questions asked. And it's just, reflecting on making things a little better. I think in this GME world, we certainly have to all carry a bit of grit and make sure our grit is growing. And then just having self-awareness really helps in many spaces, right? And it helps build respect within your department. And of course, grace. I think grace allows you to pivot, reflect, and become the best version of yourself in all aspects of your life. And then for my final tips and takeaways, every day is a new day we get to have. And so, I really try to hang on to that when I'm kind of having my lower days and when I'm having my struggles. And that's where that grace comes in. And just know your worth within your department. And then you get to self-evaluate and really figure out the best places and environments that are for you. I always think about impact and leaving a legacy and what that looks like. So that's always that kind of, I get to have an impact. I get to leave a legacy. And then really surround yourself with people who elevate you and your supporters. One thing I read recently was like, an athlete will never give you trouble for working out. A writer will never discourage you from writing a book, you know. So it's like the people who are um, there for you, that are rallying you on, they will never uh, make it seem like that's not a good thing, right? So be sure, and maybe just alter your boundaries a little bit if there are people that are less supportive, um, so that you can stay on track and you can meet the goals that you want. Seeking feedback is always another good thing, and reflecting, uh, exploring techniques and being a sponge. I always think of being a forever student. And so I really enjoy um, learning from others, collaborating with others, and doing things like this and sharing a little bit of what I can give back to our community. Um, I'm a big goal setter and kind of putting things out into the world. I manifested this job, uh, almost 9 years ago. I said I really wanted to live in Santa Monica and work for UCLA. I had no idea what that looked like, and I feel like I chose graduate medical education, and I feel like the specialty emergency medicine chose me. And I've been able to do many things because of it, and met many people across the states, and just made our specialty a little better. One talk at a time, one relationship at a time, one committee at a time. And so it's those daily things that we show up and we have our full cup because we did all these other things, right? We got our sleep, we went grocery shopping, so we have all the food. We go for our walks or the gym or whatever your move your body looks like. I also love dancing, so that doesn't feel like a workout. But whatever those things are, so that you can show up with your full cup and be the best version of yourself. And the how factor is very positive, right? So how are we going to lead? How are we going to set ourselves up for success? How can we do things more consistently to make us feel good? Uh, and this perspective of everything is figure outable, right? And I think really leading with that and reminding ourselves of that really helps decrease our anxiety and the stressors that come from every angle possible in these roles. And so, with that, I think life is better when we can do it together. So, I really appreciate you all being here and sharing this space with me and hearing me. Um, Please do not hesitate to reach out at this time if there are any questions. I'm happy to answer them. And just thank you so much for being here and being flexible. And like below, opportunity doesn't make appointments. You have to be ready when it arrives. So thank you, everybody. I really appreciate your time and good luck.
Jennifer, thank you so much. And thank you for sharing your contact information here. We had someone saying that she would love to connect more often with you and others. So hopefully she will be in touch with you. I have a feeling you'll hear from a few of the coordinators today because what you said is just so inspiring. And I love to hear that, you manifested the job, that, you've been through your struggles, because let me tell you, as someone who did not do things traditionally, because I
Mhm.
didn't, no
Yeah.
one in my family went to school. Going to school is not a thing that we talked about when I was growing up. And so I had to make the decision to do that later. And I feel like there was a lot of judgment when I was in a very professional role with a lot of experience because I didn't have that piece of paper to go with it, right? I didn't have my degree. I was working on it. But I feel like I sometimes was met with judgment from people because I was going to school at a later time.
Mhm.
And for me, I'm like, do you understand how much harder this is for me? And how
Yeah.
much stronger I'm going to be on the other side of it because I am working full time. I have two children and I
Yeah.
am busting my butt at night to do homework and getting very little sleep. So
Absolutely.
those those struggles and, failure, if you want to call it a failure, I consider it a win that I got it done. And you may meet some opposition or judgment along the way, but they do only make you better. So I just really enjoyed that part of your story and found it inspirational and have experienced that as well. So with you on the don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
I have a question for you here from one of our attendees, and that is, what is your best advice for a first year coordinator in GME?
That is a great question. I know that there is a GME Facebook. So that's a good resource and tool. Within your specialty, there is usually a group. Um, so I recommend finding out your specialty group. Like ours is EMARC. So for emergency medicine, we have an Instagram, and we also have committees, and we'll throw in any question on our Facebook group, and we'll all chime in. And we're always, I think what I love about GME in general is that we're all very helpful, and we're all very willing to share. And so I'm happy to connect with you. It's interesting because when we all share, like, how did you get into your role? How did you get into GME? It's not like you went to undergrad and got this degree, and then you went and got this master's, and then you got your GME, right? So there's actually, it's like this crazy spider web that we all got here in our roles. Um, and so, yeah, I absolutely encourage you. There's also ACGME has their annual conference in, I believe it's in February. So that's really helpful. And also on your campus or institution, I would find your GME there if there is any, and really connect with your other coordinators so that they might be a different specialty, or but we're all doing the same thing, right? We're all onboarding. We're all doing our ACGME web ads. We're all doing recruitment and swag and interviews and thelamus, right? Um, and we're all doing match day. We're all, you know what I mean? So even though we're in different specialties, we're very much doing parallel things. And so I'm happy to connect and share any templates, any workflows, whatever, that we could see where you're at. And even if it's just like, evaluations, we could separate it in a way that we could figure out where maybe the holes are in your first year of what, like I said, we're not all handed silver plates. And so you're figuring out kind of like learning curve and workflow and getting the job done by deadlines. It's very much a juggling act. And your first year is a whirlwind. Your second year is like everything looks familiar. And then your third year, you're like, okay, I think I got this. So in this first year, please give yourself grace. Please reach out to people. This community is so welcoming, loving, supportive. And we want to see each other win. I always joke I'm probably an oversharer, and maybe someday I'll get in trouble, but I enjoy sharing and helping others succeed. I don't think that you need to go through struggles that other people already went through, and we have a better route for you or better template, or you don't have to start from scratch. And so long-winded answer, but we're here for you, and we're happy to make sure things are better.
I'd like to add just a little bit to this, if you don't mind,
Absolutely.
Jennifer. I would also recommend following GME Admin Insights on LinkedIn. That is a page run by Natasha Brox. Let me tell you, if you're looking for a mentor, Natasha is amazing. She and I have become friends just through the network, and she actually got me one time. She surprised me one time. She just reached out and was like, "Hey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, why?" And she's like, "I haven't seen you posting on LinkedIn." you're usually really active on LinkedIn. Like, what's going on with you? And it wasn't, I was just traveling a lot. I was busy with work and I just hadn't thought about it. But I appreciated so much that, she saw a change and checked on me. Just a very, very thoughtful person, and a big leader in GME. And in fact, Natasha is who introduced me to Jennifer. Just so you know, I posted the link to Natasha's GME Admin Insights in the chat box. So please be sure to click on that. You can follow there. And another thing that I posted is a list of GME groups that I've put together, with help from this audience. So, I received all of these from this audience. So thank you for all of your help if you contributed to this. But it has different specialty groups. That Facebook page link is on here. A lot of really good resources on that. So just check the chat box and follow whatever link you would like to there to connect with other people in your network. And let's see, it looks like, oh, someone asked about the Facebook page. That is on that link. And just getting a lot of thank yous and kind notes in here for you, Jennifer. So please be sure to check on those.
And Tracy brings up a good, the ACGME website has really good resources for the coordinator handbook. They have a really great timeline too. So it gives you kind of like a bird's eye view of everything that we're responsible for taking. Thank you, Tracy.
Yes. Someone also asked about time management and, how people are managing their time. I'm going to put this other link in here, and this is to our past webinars. If you're looking for time management skills, our last webinar with Melissa Molina Trinidad, she gave some amazing time management tools. I really enjoyed that webinar and took a lot from it myself. So if you're interested in checking that out, please do. All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much for joining. Please watch your email this afternoon. I will hopefully be getting the recording of this out this afternoon. If not, it will be tomorrow. I just need to get with my marketing director to get it uploaded into the cloud, and then I will get it out along with the link to leave a testimonial if you so wish. And then keep an eye on your email in upcoming weeks for the announcement of our next webinar. That will be in December. I'm actually still looking for the speaker for that webinar. So if you feel like you have a topic that you would like to be considered, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Thank you again, Jennifer, and thank you for everyone who joined today.
Thank you, everyone. Lovely meeting you. Thank you, Ashley.
Thanks.